From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of the CyberHub Podcast. We've got a packed show today, so it won't take too much time of your intro. Just make sure to subscribe and share today's show. We bring it, and I do this show because of all of y'all, all the feedback you guys give, everything, all the support. Really do appreciate it. And we've got a packed show today, including an FBI warning of the DeFi platforms, a new Golang-based ransomware that's really fascinating, a bunch of news around Okta and Twilio, a bunch, Montenegro follow-up story from yesterday's, and as well, Mudge gets subpoenaed by Elon Musk in his lawsuit against Twitter. So a lot going on today. Let's get right into it with the FBI warning of a surge in attacks targeting DeFi platforms. The decentralized finance platforms to steal cryptocurrency are what used to be to many, including in our very own community, as a place where you would kind of, go away from traditional currencies into the crypto world. Well, the FBI now, whether intentionally or not, has issued a warning saying that cyber criminals are exploiting security flaws in smart contracts that govern these platforms to steal virtual currency and cause investors to lose money. Roughly 97% of the $1.3 billion that cyber criminals stole in cryptocurrency between January and March came from DeFi platform. That's a 72% increase from 2021 and a 30% in 2020. The FBI says it's seen cyber criminals initiating flash loans to trigger an exploit in the DeFi's platform smart contracts, leading to $3 million in losses. And so they're kind of, really coming through with some facts and some analytics further in. And they're also giving some recommendations to the DeFi platforms, one of which should really be hire a CISO that actually knows what crypto is all about. That should probably be something you talk about during the interview process as you're identifying candidates. I can tell you this: security is it's a very wide net. As a CISO, I can tell you that I don't always know everything, but I hire smarter people than me to help me understand the things I don't understand. The same would be applied to these companies. Hire CISOs that understand the technology, maybe not necessarily understand fully security, but can bring around smart people to help them secure these organizations. If you want smart contracts and crypto to stick around like all of us do, we all want to see this succeed. And I say all, maybe some of you don't, but you got to hire the right people. There's a new Golang-based agenda ransomware that can be customized for each victim. This, folks, is fascinating. It's been dubbed Agenda. It's been spotted targeting healthcare and education entities in Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and Thailand. Agenda can reboot systems in safe mode, attempt to stop many server-specific processes and services, and has multiple modes to run in according to Trend Micro. Keeling, the threat actor advertising the ransomware on the dark web, is set to provide affiliates with options to tailor the binary payloads for each victims, enabling the operators to decide the ransom node, encryption extension, as well as the list of processes and services to terminate before commencing the encryption process. Additionally, the ransomware incorporates techniques for detection evasion by taking advantage of the safe mode feature of a device to proceed with file encryption routine unnoticed, but not before changing the default user password and enabling automatic logon. Upon successful encryption, the agenda renames the files with the configured extension, drops the ransom node in each encrypted directory, reboots the machine in normal mode. The ransomware amounts have been from 50,000 to 800,000. You can see here the RDP connection coming through of this specific ransomware. And it's again, ransomware is going to continue to get, the more people pay for ransomware, the more likely we're going to see more of these. Like, that's just the bottom line. Okta says that their customer data was also compromised in the Twilio hack. So Okta said last week that customers' mobile numbers and SMS messages containing the one-time passwords were compromised during the recent Twilio cyber attack. Now, Twilio announced after the hack in earlier of August of this month, and it feels so long. So Signal, Cloudflare, and now DoorDash were all hit. Okta, for its part, says that they searched for phone numbers in the Twilio council, while others exposed phone numbers were incidental in the activity. So according to Okta, the actors searched for 38 unique phone numbers in the Twilio console, nearly all of which can be linked to a single targeted organization. They knew what they were looking for with Okta. According to Okta, the threat actor likely used previously compromised credentials to trigger SMS-based MFA challenges and used their access to the Twilio console to search for the OTPs. The second category of exposed mobile phone numbers were incidental to this activity. Incidental in this case can be defined as phone numbers that may have been present in the Twilio portal during the threat actor's limited activity window. The company, now Okta, kind of going through that mess, but that's not done yet. Okta now has a standard process that can be abused for nefarious processes. The legitimate method for changing credential details within Okta, for example, someone's last name or adopts a new email address, can be misused by an attacker to impersonate another existing user. The potential has been explored by cloud identity firm Permissio. The initial incentive came from a Permissio customer who could see the possibility but wished to know how nefarious actions could be detected. The process is not simple to abuse, but also not impossible. It requires the credentials of either an Okta super admin or application administrator, and if necessary, the ability to bypass an MFA deployed. Credentials can be phished or possibly bought off the web. MFA is often urged as a way of making life more difficult for attackers. But as my good buddy Roger would say, MFA can be really abused if it's not implemented correctly. In SolarWinds, they bypassed MFA, obviously here. And if you're not using the right MFA, if you're not deploying the right MFA, if you're not making those exceptions, you can find yourself in these scenarios. Good read up on the issue here. Again, hard, not impossible. Could it be done? Absolutely. But the problems for Okta continue. The problems continue simply because we're still working off of the premise of a username and password. Until we change that premise and go to a passwordless world where we're in a zero trust network, and I can't believe I'm saying it because 2 years ago, if you've been watching this podcast for that long, I was anti-zero trust. Over time, speaking with people who said, let us show you what that really means. Hate the name of zero trust, so trust but verify. You could definitely see making that argument right then and there, folks. Yesterday, I talked about Montenegro. Well, they're Montenegro cyber attack from Russia. Sorry, I was trying to cut through there. But Montenegro is still struggling to deal with the wide-ranging cyber attack that's targeted several ministries and agencies. Obviously, they're laying the blame on Russia for this crippling cyber attack. They're noticing that it's attacked not only the Ministry of Finance, but also critical infrastructure organizations. The attack, which were carried out Friday and Saturday, crippled government-run transportation services, online platform for information, as well as water and electricity systems. As of Monday afternoon, several government's websites were still unreachable. Since last night, Montenegro has been exposed to a new series of organized cyber attacks on the government's IT infrastructure. The primary target is the structure of state authorities, according to the Montenegrin authorities. The U.S. Embassy in Montenegro published its own, that's not good, pop-ups, published its own notice, the U.S. Embassy in Montenegro, saying that the company is facing persistent attack. France is sending members of its National Agency for Security of Information System to assist, as well as several other companies have all reached out there. So Russia continues to target those. And finally, we'll end with Elon Musk's legal team is demanding to hear from Twitter's whistleblowing former security chief, Piotr Zatko, a.k.a. Mudge, in the $44 billion lawsuit there. And so big discount coming his way. Musk's lawyers have now issued a subpoena asking for his testimony to be part of the allegations against Twitter. So very, very interesting development there, but nonetheless, we kind of all saw the writing on the wall, folks. So that's it for our show today. We'll be back with a whole lot more tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, and have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.